always talk a lot.
Okay. Last time I wasn't talking, so I'll make a good 30 minutes for you. I got you.
I'll be waiting. Well, hello and welcome to Join Our Dine. I'm your host, LaTrenda Cunningham Hollins. As always, it's a great pleasure that you join us each week for Joy. Got a great program for you today. Sitting here with Mr. Ivan Walker. He is with the National Federation of the Blind. He is a member there. We're just so thrilled that he's joined us. You know, it's great to find people who know about the issue that we're talking about, and he has personal experience with that.
That's
so,
right.
Mr. Walker, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about the National Federation of the Blind.
Well, I'm Ivan Walker. I was born here in Mobile, Alabama, to two nice parents, and grew up here. And at 10 years old, I found out that I was diagnosed with glaucoma, and the type of glaucoma that I have is called open angle glaucoma, in which it's a little different from closed angle glaucoma, in which open angle glaucoma, it affects the peripheral vision of the person. So at 10 years old, I was diagnosed with this, and I used eye drops to help the process along. And I wasn't losing any vision with the eye drops, so it was fine. And as I grew older, I noticed a little vision loss, and in my 20s is when I found out that I was actually losing vision. And with this type of glaucoma, a lot of times the person doesn't know that they're losing vision, so it's sort of like a silent blindness there.
Are there a lot of young people that are diagnosed with that?
Typically in the African American community, there is, because the open angle glaucoma is almost like hypertension in the eye. So, we unfortunately are faced with a lot of hypertension and high blood pressure in our family, and so it's kind of passed down. So I deal with it.
Right. What is the National Federation of the Blind?
Basically, it's an organization of blind people for blind people, and we advocate and we help to teach the community and to help people who need support, and they need that back end, and they need that extra help to help them with things as simple as getting books, or things as simple as being independent and being a productive person in the community.
One of the great things, and I love it when I'm scheduled for an interview and then something comes up that I could access and use for that interview. I was at South Alabama recently, spent a lot of time on the campus, and I'm sitting in my car waiting for my schedule, my appointment, and this young man passes by me with his walking cane, and I mean, obviously to me, he can't see much, but he was maneuvering, he was walking to his class, I mean, like walking down the street, and he was just making his way. And I thought, what a great thing of perseverance, where you can just go and live your life every day. Not, nobody was leading him. He was walking on his own. And I thought, that is awesome. You have so many people who don't want to go to school and have, different, reasons on why they can't do something. And I just thought that was awesome that I saw him and he was just doing whatever anybody else would be doing. I think that's great.
Right. One of the things that in the National Federation of Blind that we really want to promote is that blind people are independent, and we can do, some of the same things that everyone else does. And to see a blind person walking down the street should be a regular thing.
Right. One of the stigma is that we don't see as many blind people as we think, anyway, because maybe they're homebound or they can't. That is one of the things that you do that you really want to get out while you're here today, is that we shouldn't look at people that are blind any different than anybody else, because they can do, will do, and are really well able to do.
Right. I mean, we actually had a thing called Meet the Blind. We have Meet the Blind Month throughout every NFB affiliate in every state, and basically what we want to do is promote that blind people can go out and be in the community, be productive citizens, and in this case in Mobile, we did ours in Mobile Public Library, our NFB affiliate here, and I was lucky and happy to be a part of that program. And being a chef, I prepared all the food for the Meet the Blind Month, and we had different vendors come out, and state organizations, Mobile Rehabilitation here also came out, and we just wanted to let everyone see blind people active in the community.
Now, I'm going to go back to your career and your profession is cooking.
Right.
Now, if anybody watched the show Master Chef, the last winner was a young lady that was blind.
Right.
Now, help me in this, because my understanding was, I know that she could taste, but how in the world did she know, or how do you know what to put where, how to find, and the temperature? I know that has nothing to do with this, but it actually probably has something to do with how you accommodate and how you can just maneuver and kind of work things out the way you need them.
Well, first off, it's a lot of training and organization, and obviously she's had some previous training. Sure. And those things are, in my case, I use Braille. I make sure that I have things labeled in Braille, and I use different accessibility techniques to make sure that I can do the job. But in her case, if you've been doing it for a while, you know how things are supposed to taste. Your sight is not the only sense that you use in a kitchen. Mostly you're using feel, you're using smell and repetition, and just overall being able to accommodate for your blindness by using your other senses.
I was watching a story on CBS probably, I don't know, a while ago, and they were talking about this new thing. Well, it's not new, but this guy was so good at, I don't know what it's called, the term, I know you'll get me if it's not right, but it was the clicking method, how he could click and make a sound, and how the sound would bounce off of the object, because he could tell where a step was or where there was a column or object. How does one, when you're accommodating to see how you're going to be able to live life at the best, how you decide which road you're going to take, which one is better for you, whether it is the Braille or maybe someone is good with the sound or whatever? How does one decide when you're faced with this, what's best?
Well, once again, that goes back to the training. And in my case, I went to the Louisiana Center for the Blind, and that's where I got my training. And when you're mentioning the clicking, basically what you're doing is, it's basically the same thing that bats and dolphins use, echolocation. Exactly. And the NFB style canes that we use have stainless steel tip on them. And that stainless steel tip, when it touches certain, things, it makes a noise that as you continue to learn and use your mobility training, you use that sound, and you can walk and go to a doorstep or in a big room, and you can tell what's going on in the room with the echolocation. Yeah,
that's amazing. Are there different types of blindness, and if so, what are they?
Well, people can have all kinds of different diagnoses to things that'll make them blind, and it could have been an accident, it could have been from birth, it could have been like in my case, open angle glaucoma, and it's from the optic nerve being damaged. You can have it from cataracts, just plenty of things.
What are the greatest challenges for someone who has a seeing impairment or blind?
Basically, confidence. I would say confidence. In my case, it was definitely confidence, and a lot of the people that I meet, it's confidence, because once you feel like you can overcome, what's going on, you'll be able to be productive and do what you need to do. And a lot of times it's not a death sentence. You're blind, and now what am I going to do? You have to, grab yourself by the boot heels and pull yourself up, and have supportive people around you. Right. And I think that having that support and having the people around you will give you what you need to be positive and move forward.
What is the greatest stereotype that blind people face when it comes to being in society? I know, let me tell you, anybody who's in any kind of group, it doesn't matter what kind of group it is, you all get together and, we talk about, well, I hate when this happens, or this is the issue. So what are some of those private issues that, people that are in the Federation or blind people have with the way community perceives them or thinks about them?
Number one, they think that we, wear spots, we wear polka dots and stripes, and we can't, coordinate ourselves. And a lot of times the intricacy of doing things is what we focus on, so we can make sure that we dress nice and make sure that we're paying attention to detail and make sure that we're being, professional. In my case, I want to be as professional as I can in my business and not only represent myself and my business, but I represent the NFB in a lot of the things that I do. And, I want to be out in the community and let everyone see me.
Tell me, and I want to get this right because I know before I told the story about the young man with the walking stick, we talked about that. Tell me about the terms. When people say blind, they're kind of like, yeah, he's blind, and they whisper, or, oh, he's got a walking stick. Tell me about the terms. What are the terms that you want to let the public know? Say this, please don't say that. What should we know?
Well, it's actually referred to as a cane, a white cane. In the NFB, we have a designer, and they actually make the canes, and they're called a white cane. And they're rigid canes, they're collapsible canes, telescoping canes, but the correct term is cane. And as far as the blindness, like in my case, yes, I'm legally blind, but I do have some residual vision. So we just like to refer to it as blind because it's no use of, this person is super blind and this person is not as blind. So, it's just, even if you're visually impaired, you're legally blind when you're legally blind. That's the way the government refers to it. So,
absolutely. Well, how does society accommodate you? For example, if I go to McDonald's and I see on the window on the drive-thru it says Braille menus available, are there ways that the society accommodates people that are blind in a way that makes your life easier, such as something like that?
In some cases, it's just awesome. You see, accessibility and you see the accommodations. In other cases, it's not. It's really bad. And, having a forum and being able to bring some of those things to light, like, kiosk systems in your airports and the kiosks, the touch screen ATMs, things like that are totally not accessible for blind people. And, we are some of the most traveling people you ever meet. So they're really,
you're right.
It really affects us. But we go into like a McDonald's, for say, and they do have the Braille menus. A lot of places have Braille menus, and we use a lot of different technology to assist us as well, iPhones and things like that.
How does your iPhone help with Braille? Help with that?
Actually, Apple products are some of the products that we really, really support.
Awesome.
They're accessible right out of the box, meaning that they have voiceover. You can use your camera on your iPhone, take a picture of a product in a store, and it'll read the barcode on it and tell you the prices of it.
Awesome. Because those are things that maybe somebody that's watching who has a young person who is going through this, or maybe born blind or was like you at 10, that maybe don't even know that some of those things are available. So that's great. And of course, if you have any questions, you can also reach them at nationalfederationoftheblind.com. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a minute.
I don't think anyone captured my first steps on camera. I was the 5th kid, and by that time, first steps weren't a big deal. I was 16 and driving home with my brother Ben. A distracted driver hit us. Ben died on impact. I had 47 days in a hospital bed for reality to settle in. With a major spinal cord injury, doctors said I would never walk again. But deep down, I knew I would. I prayed that every day. Family, friends, strangers, all started to pray for me to be able to walk again. The progress has been slow, and the victories hard-won, but I feel the prayers.
Whether you need support in a tragedy or just to make it through a bad day, prayer can make a difference. America, let's come together by believing with each other.
For someone to come alongside you and say, I'm going to believe with you, it means a lot.
Hello and welcome to Join Our Town. I'm your host, LaTrenda Cunningham-Hollins. As always, it is a great joy and privilege when you join us each week for Join Our Town. I've got a great program for you today. This segment is with Mr. Ivan Walker with the National Federation of the Blind. We're talking about people that are blind. We're talking about how they're in society and some of the stigmas that go along with that. We fear what we don't know, and a lot of times when we see somebody that has a handicap or someone that is different than we automatically get these things in our head that say something that is totally out of the way. We don't know how to behave, we don't know how to act, and I think that's another reason we should always get out and get amongst people, be around people that are different, be around people that are like us, but so that when the